Hello everyone, Soul8 here, and welcome to our next episode of our Final Fantasy VII Platinum playthrough on the PS4. Last episode, we successfully destroyed Mako Reactor number 1. I pointed out some affinity boosting items that will help you get that date with Barrett, as well as picking a decent spot to grind for ethers to sell so you can buy the 99 iron bangles if you are going for a 99 item perfect playthrough. So go ahead and strap in and join us as we meet up with Tifa, Barrett, and go on our next mission with Avalanche. So I was trying to go down to the shops. Initially, you can't go there just yet though. So there's only a couple options that will affect affinity points, and I'll point those out. The first one is when you get the option to give those flowers, you want to make sure to give them to Marlene, because that'll give Barrett a pretty substantial boost on his way. Now if you want some affinity points with Tifa, you can go ahead and talk to her behind the bar. But if you do that, you want to make sure to say, I don't feel like it, because if you say, give me something hard, it'll actually boost her affinity. The other way will actually also give you an affinity boost for Tifa, so make sure to answer how I did, acting like you don't know what she's talking about. I don't know how we can climb with one hand, because I'm pretty sure that gun isn't doing a whole lot. Or there, how we can throw a sack full of money with his gun. Alright, so another affinity options coming up. One gives plus points to Tifa, the other one gives plus points to Barret. To get Barret's affinity up, you actually want to mention that, surprisingly, about Barret snoring. Definitely skipping the Materia tutorial here, which I'm so glad they give you the option to skip it. You don't get anything for it to do it, but if you've never done it before, then obviously it's a good idea. But essentially, kind of just tells you how to equip and de-equip materia, arrange them, exchange them. Talks about weapons linked slots versus linked defensive slots. Alright, so I usually pick up one fire materia, even though you get a free one later. I just kind of like to start leveling it up, considering I have open materia slots at this point in the game. So there's really no harm in buying it. I also usually like to pick up a couple antidotes, just to have on hand. And since we don't have life yet, an extra Phoenix down or two would never hurt. Alright, and this is the store where we can buy the 99 iron bangles. Even if you're not buying all 99, I would definitely recommend buying 3, one for each of your party members. Really feel like you need an inn, you can go there. And what I typically do is I use that all with Restore. You can easily use it with any of the elemental ones to give yourself some major AoE attack power, but don't really need it. And I usually load up Tifa with some type of magic, because her attack is going to suck right now because of her weapon, and she's a lower level, while she can still do a considerable amount of damage if you have magic materia on her. Because that's really not impacted as much by a weapon, but only by stats, which, yes, weapons do give hidden stats that they don't identify, but that's okay, because it was still doing, you know, double the damage that a normal attack would do. Alright, time to go board the train. And here's the little extra dialogue scene by talking to him again, if you talk to him on the first trip. Alright, so here you're going to have a time limit to get to each train. If you don't make it off, it's not a game over, you just end up further down the next area, and it just means you have to walk farther. So make sure to get out of there in the time, because it's also an affinity boost for both Tifa and Barret. Watch out for this guy walking. He will steal something from you, so just make sure to go get it back. It's usually, I think it's a potion or money. And you have to say that's right. So if you make it this far, there's only 1 or 2 screens that you have to actually walk up to get to the next area. So the further back that you get caught and don't make it, just means you're going to have to walk more screens, more random encounters, just takes more time to do so. Alright, so these guys are a pretty good thing to find in general in this area. They do quite a bit of damage, so if you want to grind limits in any way, shape, or form, it's decent. So as you can see, each of those attacks do roughly, well, 20 in the back row, but 40 in the front row. And as you see, Tifa's limit bar went up from practically nothing. And if you have like all lightning, then it's really, really easy just to kill him in like one shot until you're out of MP. Alright, so if you want to grind at all at this point for money, AP, levels, whatever it may be, there's an infinite chain of fights here. So once you kill these 3 enemies, which are not difficult in any way, shape, or form, it'll ask you if you want to run away or stay, and if you stay, you get thrown into another automatic random encounter with this same group. So you just keep doing that over and over again. If you want to gain some extra levels for Tifa because she's weak, or maybe gain some AP, money, whatever it may be. Limits not so much because they do practically no damage. So as you can see, by clicking staying here, it threw me right into another fight. So let's run out of here, and now we're going to run all the way back the way we came. Alright, and now we're back to where we were supposed to go. So this quote-unquote dungeon, for lack of a better term, is pretty short. Couple items to pick up though along the way, so make sure to get those because everything you find in here is a one-time only event. I mean, the items aren't fantastic, but they're there. You can find a lot of the same enemy types from the hallway, or tunnels, it's probably the best term for it, here than you did there. There are some additional ones though as well. So as you can see, her damage is a lot weaker than the other party members. Some new enemies, you have those fish type things. They don't do a whole lot. All the enemies at this point are all pretty easy. They can sleep you though, and that can slow down the pace of battle pretty substantially. And there's the sleep attack that I was talking about. Up the tent, which will restore all your HP and MP if you use it, but you can only use them at save points or on the world map, or essentially anywhere that you can save. Down the fun slide to the bottom of the reactor. Alright, so we have some new enemies. Hounds do a lightning attack that can drain you for some HP and restore their HP. Doesn't matter, and the green guy that I just destroyed can poison you, but poison's not that big of a deal in short fights. In long fights it can do some real damage, but in a short fight, no, and it does go away after the battle. There's no point to save here, there's no boss right now. The boss of this area is a little bit further. And no materia this time to get for free, which sucks. Now we just make our way all the way back up, the exact same way we came through, and we would leave just like we left the Mako 1 reactor in the last episode. Just cutting out those random battles. It's all the same enemies that we've seen before. They all die really, really quickly. make sure to pick up the item. Another ether, which is good. And this puzzle is just not even a puzzle, it's just a timing thing. Essentially count to 3, hit action, and you'll do it. If you go off the visual cues only, you'll most likely miss it. It's about 3-second count. So here's a good chance. If you want to top off your HP and MP, that is the last save point to do it before the boss. Use that 10th that you did get if you need to. The boss goes down really, really quick though. Especially if you manage to hit him with a couple back attacks. Because it does insane damage at this level, at this point in the game. Alright, time for our second boss fight. So like I said, this fight's really, really easy. It's a mechanical thing, so it is weak to bolt. And if you hit it enough times with bolt, it'll actually limit its ability to rotate, and you can just keep scoring back attacks all day long with one of the characters. As you're about to see, when it takes a back attack, it takes a ton of damage. And because it took so much damage now, it cannot turn around, so it just has to use its rear guns. Which it just worked out that I had essentially 3 limit breaks ready to go at this point. And that is it for the boss. So there's one more affinity type question that you can answer. You will want to select Be Strong to get affinity with Barret. The other option will increase your affinity with Tifa, but decrease your affinity with Barret by a pretty substantial point considering he starts so low. Alright, and that's going to end it for this episode. Go ahead and look for my other videos, and definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and share it with all your friends, and leave any comments down below. So with that, thank you and have a great day.